Hey, quirky humans. Today I want to talk to you all about work-life balance, but not the Pinterest perfect aesthetic kind, the actually real, down-to-earth kind. Because, spoiler alert, work-life balance is not 50-50, and as much as we would like to just split our schedule down the middle and do half work, half life, our life side actually needs a lot more. And also, there's like a lot of different categories in our life and our work and all of those things. But before we get into that, if we haven't met yet, my name is Isabel, and on this channel, we talk all about embracing your weird in order to build a better brand, business, and life. So let's go. When we hear about work-life balance, we always hear about balancing out like 50-50. But to be honest, work shouldn't be taking 50% of your time. And also, there's more categories than just like life and work. Personally, I like to divide my life into 4 categories: health, personal, opportunities, and relationships. And then each of those 4 categories is actually subdivided further into 3 more. And in an ideal world, right, those 4 categories would be split up like 25% of my time, 25% of my time, 25, 25, like so. But in reality, that's not how it works. And even when I look at like all 12 of the categories, if I'm including the subcategories, I'd love for them to be split up into these perfect quarters like so. But again, it's just not realistic to have it split up that way. Your first prioritization has to be your health. So one of my biggest categories is health. And here's the kicker. And you might want to be, sitting down for this one. Your health should probably take up about 50% of your time. And no, I didn't say 15, I said 50. And I know that sounds like a lot, but hear me out. If there's 168 hours in a week, half of that is 84 hours. If we're sleeping 8 hours a day, that's already 56 of those 84 hours done. Right? Now, what about 2 or 3 hours of exercise a week? What about cooking, eating, showering, self-care activities, meditation, journaling, praying, like all of these things that have to do with your physical, emotional, and spiritual health? All of that is going to be in those like 28 hours left. I'm not great at math, but you know what I mean. So here's the good thing though. I know it sounds like a lot to think that your health should be taking up 50% of your time. However, your health directly impacts all of your other areas. So when you're taking care of your physical health and your emotional health and your spiritual health, you are positively impacting your ability to focus, your ability to create, your ability to work faster, your ability to be more productive and to manage things better and to be less triggered and to be more emotionally intelligent with all of the other things that you have in your life. So at the end of the day, that 50% investment into your health helps make the rest, the other 50%, easier to manage. If you're enjoying this video so far, please like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps this channel grow. Also, let me know in the comments, are you spending 50% of your time working on your health right now, or not so much? Once we've added in the health stuff, right, we should go look into our work hours. Now, here's the thing, and I feel a little bit iffy about this. I'm saying you should look at your work hours because if you are working a 9 to 5, or if you're, working for somebody else, you probably don't control those hours. So there is a set amount of hours that you have to work each week. And it is going to take up that part of your schedule. It is what it is, right? But also, if you're working for yourself, this is the moment to figure out what are those hours that you're going to work? What amount of hours do you want to work? Because when you have this set up, it makes it so much easier to figure out the rest of the stuff, right? In work, we usually have a lot of commitments with other people, our clients, our audience, our boss, it doesn't matter. And we have to keep up with it. So health first, next work, and then we're gonna fit in all the other stuff, okay? Now, this is what that balance looks like for me, okay? You can see that I have a huge chunk for health. You can see that I have a huge chunk for relationships, especially what's my inner circle, which is my marriage and my dogs, and my family and friends also have a huge chunk, but I also have a huge chunk for my personal stuff, right? And then there's some smaller ones for like my relationship with my home, because it is still important, but I'm not going to spend as much time on that as I am going to spend, on my marriage. At the end of the day, the big message that I want you to take away from this is we have been taught to prioritize work over everything else. We have been taught that we need to figure out what our work hours are and then fit everything else around that. And we've also been taught that life and work balance is like a 50-50 thing, which isn't true. I really want you to consider what your life would look like if you devoted 50% of your time working on your physical, emotional, and spiritual health, whatever that means for you, right? If it's drinking more water, if it's doing meal prep, if it's going to exercise 8 times a week or 3 times a week, it doesn't matter what it means for you, but your health should be your priority because it's what's going to make all the other stuff work better, work faster, and just improve your life overall. You're gonna feel better, you're gonna focus more, and it's gonna be better, even though that now sounds redundant because I've said better 100 times. If you enjoyed this video, you might enjoy my Reset Your Schedule, How to Catch Up When You're Falling Behind video. I'll leave it linked at the end. I deep dive into that video on how to actually implement this entire balance in your life and how to do it for a schedule, like thing by thing, commitment by commitment. I'm really grateful that you stuck through to the end of this video. And if it resonated with you, I'd love for you to like and subscribe. I make new videos like this every Friday, and this is a newer channel, so all of those, likes, comments, subscribes really helps this reach more people. I'm so grateful that you're here. And as always, stay wild, stay weird, and I'll see you in the next one.